now you guys are really going to love this one. Have you ever wondered how to add dark mode to your Elementor website without any plugins? This solution is going to do just that using GSAP. So on our website here, if I click on this sun icon, it's going to switch to dark mode, and the icon is going to switch to the moon icon. And everything here is going to be changed. We can see, even if I go back to the light mode, it's all reversed. And I can go to dark mode, even the button changes and all of my headlines. And I'm going to show you how to do this in the most simplest way using GSAP. And you don't need to use any plugins. It's just a script. Should be easy to understand. So if you guys want to just download one of my templates and have this included, I do have this template. And you guys have probably seen it before. I did promote it in my last video. If you guys want to go ahead and download it, it will be down in the description. There will be a small fee for it, just in case you want to support the channel. That'd be amazing. It's going to have the same functionality. You can click on this. And also for those of you wondering how to add a slider toggle, I also have that included in the template as well, but I will kind of go over this briefly in the video, how you can add a toggle instead. But that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. If you guys do, make sure to like it for the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any of my videos. I really hope you enjoy.
Let's go ahead and begin here. So I'm using an Elementor template, and the template that I'm using is this one here. I believe it's a pro template, just in case you guys want to follow along. And it is very important that you do, just so then you learn the concepts here. So we're going to be going over two examples. The first example is how to completely change a page from light mode to dark mode, and I mean completely. And our second example is going to be how to change specific sections from light mode to dark mode. And there's a reason for that, because you may have a website where not every section needs to be changed to dark mode. And I'll be going over that further in this video. But let's just start off with the first example. And this is just a great starting point right here. So make sure to use this template. It's really going to help out. Now, the first thing that we need to do is add our icon that we're going to switch over to the moon icon, which is going to give us that dark mode effect. So go ahead and search for your icon. And in case you're wondering, I did add this menu. This is the only custom thing that I did to this template here, is just added this menu and just made it go with the template style, I should say. All right. So once you drag and drop your icon, go ahead and click on the icon and let's search for the sun, because we're currently on the light mode. So the sun, we can't see it yet. We just need to change the color. Go to style and change the color to black. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and switch this to inline. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Adjust our sizing here. Let's do about 20. Maybe we can do a little more. 21. And now let's click on this other item here, this icon list. Let's go to advanced, width, inline as well. Now, just in case you have your icon on this side, all you need to do is just drag and drop it and make sure that it's set right under our icon list. There we go. And it's going to set it here to the right. Now we just need to adjust some of the margins. So go into advanced, go ahead and click on this box to unlink the values together. Now from the bottom, we're going to do a negative just to remove that spacing under it, just like so. And then we're going to give it some margin on the left side here, just to kind of have some spacing in between our icon list and our icon here. So let's do about 12. We'll be fine. There we go. Now, one thing to do is whenever you set something to inline, make sure that it's set to the center. That is always important. That does help. Same thing here. set it to the center just in case. There we go. That's all we needed to do from there. Just set that up. But we still actually need to add a CSS class to this. That's probably the only other thing. But let's go ahead and update this first, and then we'll go ahead and look at our code here. So go to your dashboard. Just have another tab open. That'll make it much easier. Go to your dashboard because we're still going to be working on the editor. So from your dashboard, go into custom code. And I've already set up the code, but I'm going to go over it. And you can copy it and paste it. So go ahead and add your custom code. Just click add new. I've gone through this process many times. You can probably just view one of my other GSAP videos where I go over stuff more in depth. But we're going to go over the first example. So I'm going to click on edit. And all I did was just paste this code, make sure that it's set to the body end, and then go ahead and choose the right page on the editor. I did singular pages and I searched for my page, and I selected it and I clicked save and close. That's all you got to do. Okay, so once you've done that, make sure you name it as well. You can just name it light and dark mode, but this is just my first example. So first of all, we have our GSAP loader. I've gone through this many times, and we're just loading GSAP. And once that's loading, we want our function to fire. But our function only fires whenever certain parameters are met inside this function. So right now, we're setting up a variable with a timeline of paused, and that's set to true. And then we're setting up another timeline here. And then we're setting up our timeline items. And we already set up one of our main timelines here. And inside our main timeline, we're adding our other timeline that we just created under here. As you can see, we're dark mode. We're adding it to this variable timeline. So now this is all, these timelines are all linked together. And basically what we're doing is we have a variable with the query selector, and we're targeting our dark mode class, dark mode dash toggle class here. So whenever that class is clicked, basically whenever that icon is clicked, it's going to go ahead and check. Well, we have this event listener here. So whenever that's clicked here, I should say, we have this event listener on click. We have an if statement. It's just logic here. We're just checking if the button, the icon, has been clicked, and if it contains, if it does not contain, that's why we have this exclamation point. If it does not contain dark mode, the dark mode class, because we add this class to it, then we want it to play, right? And then we also want it to go ahead and add toggle, which is we're going to add it because it hasn't been added yet, our dark mode. Now, if it already has the class of dark mode, then what it's going to do, it's going to set it to reverse and basically set it back to light mode. And then it's going to go ahead and toggle this dark mode class off. It's going to remove the class from the icon, basically. And that's just kind of a simple logic on how we're going to go about adding our click event toggle. So hopefully that made sense there. So the next part we want to go over is our timeline. This is pretty much what's going to make everything happen. It's going to change the background color that we have here. It's going to change our logo color. It's going to change our toggle button, our toggle icon to the sun icon. Currently have it set to the moon. Sorry, it's going to set it to the moon icon, I should say. And then it's going to change that, our icon here. I can actually show you this icon. It's going to change it to the moon. And then it's going to change it to, basically going to change the color to white because it's going to be in dark mode. That's what we have it here on this one. And then this menu is mainly for mobile. It's so then our little toggle hamburger menu, this one here, let me go over that. This one here turns white, okay, whenever we click and it's set to dark mode instead of this purple. So that's what this section does here, or this timeline, I should say. And then these two timelines here, all they do is just change the color of our SVGs and our eye icons. So they change this color, this icon color, and then also these icons down here. They change them all to white. Basically changes everything to white, except for this section. We don't change the section here to white. We just leave it as is. And then we have our buttons. And basically this is just going to change all of our buttons to white. White. It's going to change the background to white, and then the text is going to be black. And it's basically what these two timelines do. One of them changes the background color. The other one changes the border color. And then this one changes the button text color. This one here. And then basically what all these other ones do here, they're all very similar to each other. They basically target all of our H1s, all of our P tags, our A tags, which is just our link tags, our span tags, and our divs. Basically just makes them all white. That's what that does. So that's what's going to turn our text white, and some of our other text elements white. So that's pretty much the gist of it. So now that I've kind of broken that down, and in case you guys do want to learn more about GSAP, I do have other videos, so please take a look at those videos. That will help you out. And then this is just loading our GSAP library here. So let's hit update. Regardless, I don't think we changed anything, but just in case you're going through this process, just hit update. That's fine. So now there are a few things that we need to do before we even test this out, because if I go in here and try to test this out, you notice it's not even working, and that's because we haven't added our classes yet. So first of all, we need to add our DM toggle here. So for our class list on our icon, very important, you add DM dash toggle. Now if I click on this, it's going to set it to dark mode. And if I click on it back, it's going to set it to light mode. That's basically what it's doing here. As I mentioned, it's pretty much changing it from the sun, this would usually say sun, to this part here, FA dash moon. And I'll show you guys that, just in case you guys want to learn a little bit there. Don't want to make this video too long, but definitely would like you guys to learn stuff like that. So, and it's right here, you see? It's right here. Let me expand this a little bit so you see it right here. FAS, FA, sun. That's basically what this changes to, okay? So that's what that's doing there. So you see whenever I click that, it's going to change, right? To the moon. See that? And then back to that. See that? Changes here. That's what it's basically doing. Okay. Now, it looks great, but there's just a few things here. So whenever we set this to mobile, and I haven't optimized mobile that much because that's not the point of this video. So the good part is that it is setting it to white. Now it shouldn't be setting it to white by default, but I think it's because I added one of the classes earlier. And if I haven't added it, that's very important that you need to add it on there. For some reason, it's already targeting it, which is great. But let me see here. As to why it's targeting, I kind of don't really know why, but it might just be a glitch there. So let's make sure that we add this in here, the DM menu toggle. So then that actually does target that toggle. We add it in here, very important. It just might be a little bug there because that shouldn't be turning white already. But if it is, that's fine. Let's just add that in there and make sure that that works properly, just in case it's not doing it on your screen. There we go. Okay. So regardless, it's working. Alrighty. So the next thing that we probably see here, we notice that everything turns white. So we don't really need to go into every single element and add a class to it, and that's great. But in the next example, we might need to do that. So everything is looking good. Even the icons, everything's already switched. It's great. The only thing is that we need to just adjust our logo here because our logo isn't switching colors. And it's very simple. We just need to add, right in here on our source, we need to add the link to the icon that we've uploaded to our site. Or sorry, the link to the logo, basically. We need to add the link here. So I'm going to open up another tab in our media. I'm going to locate our light logo that we have. This one here. That isn't the best quality, but that's not the point of the video. So just grab the link to that, the URL, and then paste the URL in here. There we go, right in between those single quotes, and then hit update. Now that's probably not going to work just yet because we need to go ahead and add our class in here, change logo. So let's make sure that our logo here has this class of change logo. Paste that in there, change dash logo. And then now, if we test this out again, that should work, right? Perfect. Now, like I said, the quality isn't that great, but it's not that important. Now, the only other thing is that I kind of want to have, I want to have a cursor of a button. So we know that we have a cursor pointer, right? We don't have that here whenever we hover over that. Now, it's very simple. Just click on the icon, go to custom CSS, type in selector, curly brackets, cursor. Sorry, spelled that wrong. Cursor, and then pointer. There we go. Cursor pointer. Go ahead and hit update. And now, there we go. It's letting us know that we can click this. See that? Working perfectly. Now that's set up for the first example. Hopefully this works. That example works for you, but it may not because you probably want something a little more advanced. So let's go over the second example here. The good part is for the second example, a lot of the stuff is already set up that we already did. So some of those stuff we're going to skip anyway. Now, let's go to our pages here. And I will open up our second example, right? Now, something we're going to do is I'm going to turn off my, let's go back here. Go to my custom code. I'm going to go to my first example. And just to kind of show you this issue that you will come across, this little scenario here, I'm going to set the first example to the second one, where we just make everything into light mode. And you'll find the issue pretty quick. So, but the only thing now that I need to do as well is I need to basically turn off my second example script on that page. So then we can go over that scenario here. And then we can really use our other script that we're probably going to be using throughout the site. So let me just turn this off for now, and I'll click save. So it doesn't load anywhere. So now if I go back to our website that we were working on, this one here, our first example, and it's great and all, it looks good, but we switch this, right? Now you tend to see an issue. The issue here is, first of all, I haven't added, actually, let me see if this is working properly, because I believe I had it set to everything. Make sure that that's working. So let's go to our Elementor code. Or let's go back here. We don't need to open that one up again. And we definitely need to make sure that there's no instance of this one, because this isn't the one that's supposed to be working. Let's make sure we turn this off. It looks like it is, but I'm going to set this to draft just in case if it's somehow getting it. So, and let's go back and check what's going on here. Let's refresh this page. Oh, wait, we might be on a different one. We're probably not on the right page. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, we are. Is this one? Yeah. So as you can see now, everything changed to dark mode, and that's great and all. But you see this section here? I didn't want the text color and the text boxes here to also change. I didn't want that to change color. I wanted it to stay, dark here. This section was supposed to stay dark. And that may be an issue that you may come across, that you may want everything else to turn into dark mode, but not specific sections, right? So that's what we're going to be going over now. So, sorry, Elementor code. I think I already have another tab for that, and I keep forgetting. All right, so we have another tab there. So this is our example 2. We're going to go ahead and set it to the page now. We're going to go to singular, pages, and let's type in EX example 2. Here we go. Save it. Make sure that it's not set to draft and it's set to publish. So there we go. It's set to publish now. Let's go back to our code again because we just need to disable the other one or set the other one to our example 2 or example 1 here. So let's go ahead and just switch this real quick. Set up 2, it's going to be 1. So then those don't interfere with each other. And let me just make sure that that is set here. Double save it here so I don't have that issue again. All right, so now we can go over it. So let's go to custom code. This is our example 1. Let's open up our example 2 here. It's probably not going to be set just yet. So yeah, it's not set just yet. Perfect. Our logo is already set up. And our menu is already set up. We're not going to do the same things again. We're just going to go, I'm going to teach you how to do this basically by section. So if I go and open up the editor in here, basically what we did is we added a class to all of these other elements here. So H1, H2, H3, H4, P, A, span, div. You notice that we have this class now of DM text, right? So we can pick what specific section we want the text color to change. You could do the same thing to the buttons as well if that was something that you want to do. And also the icons. We're going to have to do that to the icons too. So we'll start off with the icons because if we test this out, the dark mode, you notice that it won't change the color of the icons just yet. You see that? So we need to do that. Now, unless you want that to just happen automatically, you would have to remove this class in front of it, right? These two classes, this one and this one, it'll happen automatically. But just in case maybe you have icons in different sections that you don't want the color to change, then this is the right approach. So go ahead and copy the DM-icon class, and then, or just type it in, and then go in here to the section and paste it in there. Now I'm not going to test it just yet because I want to kind of go through everything else because it's going to take a little longer. So now we did that. And we could do the same thing to our button. We just can add a class. We can do dot DM dash button. That's something that we want to do. DM starts for just dark mode. And then basically you would have to paste this on all of them. And then now every single button that you would want to turn into dark mode, you got to add that class here. Now I don't want to do that because there's a lot of buttons. So I kind of don't really want to go through that. So I'm not really going to do that there. So I'm just going to remove this and remove that one as well. There we go. And we're just going to do our text because that's our main thing. So let's copy our text, DM-text, and instead of pasting it into every single one of these text elements, we're actually just going to paste it to the section. So that will make it much easier. You could probably end up doing the same thing for the buttons as well later on. Just put it on the section instead of, the button, but that's something you guys can do. So anyway, click on your section that you want the text color to change. Go to advanced, and then just add this class here, or type it in DM-text. We want it to change on this one as well. DM-text, this one. DM-text, this one, no. We want it to stay the same because we don't want the color to change on that. DM-text, and then here as well. DM-text on the class. And oh yeah, and also this section too here. All right, so now if we hit update, we notice that it works properly, right? And this section stays the same, which is perfect, and then everything else changes, right? That's exactly how we want it to work. Except for the text here, so we also got to put it in here. And all right, there we go. You see that? Now, something you may be wondering is we didn't go over this logo here, but it's basically the same thing that we did earlier to this one. We just added this change logo class to the logo under here, so it changes to the dark mode logo. We just pasted it in here. That's pretty much it. Now for the bonus part that I mentioned, how to activate dark mode with a slide toggle. So I've already set up the page anyway. So if I go to my dashboard here, tabs aren't really important anymore. and I go to my pages here, and I have this one called toggle button. So you can see whenever I click on this, till it's reversed on this page. As you can see, it goes from dark, starts off in dark mode and then goes to light mode. But obviously you can just reverse it. So let me go over the markup HTML here. So if I click on this toggle here, all we really did is we just pasted this HTML code. I'll have this in the description as well in case you guys want to use this method instead. Have this. Make sure that you give it an ID of dark mode dash checkbox. It's very important. And then now let's go over the code here. So go to Elementor custom code. Basically the exact same thing. It's just that the logic is a little bit different on click. So let's see, which one is it? Toggle button, here it is. So the only difference that it is just our click event logic here is different. So we have a variable with a query selector, and we're just targeting our ID here. Let me remove this over here. We're targeting our ID of dark mode checkbox, and we have an event listener on click. So whenever we click on our toggle slide here, we check if the checkbox that we currently have is not checked. So if it's not checked, then we want to go ahead and play this dark mode, right? So if it's not checked, we'll play this dark mode and turn it into dark mode. Basically, we'll just do this, right? Just an example. So if we click on it and if it's unchecked, then obviously it's going to end up making it checked, and it's going to run this function because it was unchecked, right? And then this is basically just the opposite of this one here. So if it is checked, we're going to just run a reverse, and it's going to set that back to light mode, I believe. So that's pretty much how that's set up. Obviously on yours, I set it up like this just because it's a little bit reversed on mine, but you can easily just do this. You can check if it's checked and then just swap these if that was something that you want to do. And that's it. And then just change reverse to here. It really just depends on how you guys want to do it. Sorry, you'll just switch this one up here and just swap them basically. Not really going to be going over that too much, but that's pretty much how that works. Just paste this code in here if you guys wanted to write it out. I will have it in the description as well as an option, so you guys can try that out. Now that's pretty much it for this video. It was a little bit long, but I did want to go over everything because this is the simplest way to add dark mode to your website, and I felt like it was super interesting, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like it for the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Thanks for watching.